And that's one of the things I'm proud about. You've got a beautiful family now, don't you? You're married. What now? Is it about a year and a half, 2 years married? And you have a stepdaughter. Tell us about that. You have a lovely family.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be 2 years in January, end of January. And my lovely stepdaughter is about to be 11 years old in April. And it's just crazy how life can be. My wife Lauren and I had met when I was about 16 years old. And, we were best friends for about 10 years prior to dating. And then once we started dating, we got engaged pretty quickly. And it was just kind of long history together. And it's worked out great. If you can marry your best friend, then I highly recommend it.
Well, that's awesome. And that's what you did. I'm really proud of you. And as I tell my viewers in some other videos about being a father, I'm really proud of my children because they all turned out amazing. And, as I said in the other video, I always imagined my kids. One of the things that Neville Goddard teaches is that you can imagine for others. And I always imagined you being as you are now, calm, peaceful, loving, a great partner for your girlfriend, now wife. Honest, hardworking, good guy, and you've turned out that way. This is Robert Meade from The Power of Imagination, and I have a tremendous privilege today as I am interviewing my one and only son from my three children, Clayton Randall Meade. Clayton, say hello.
Hey, how's it going?
So, what can I say about my son? He's means everything to me. He reflects me in a lot of ways. Good and bad, I guess you could say. We're a lot alike. He's an artist, both literally in creating art. He loves to draw and sketch. He has since he was little, as I did. And he also loves adventure movies. He has an adventurous life. He's also a very deep young man. I call him a young man. He's half my age. He turned 33 and I turned 66, both in the month of May. And so he's exactly half my age. So, yep. Clayton, tell us a little bit about where you live and where you were raised, and a little bit about your background.
Yeah, absolutely. Interestingly enough, born in my house, a home birth. I was the third child. My mom didn't do that with the first two, but for the third one, she decided that. And I was born on 18th Street here in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I was born and raised here primarily. I did live in Oregon and in 95 and 96 when I was 5 and 6 years old, and very briefly in Laguna Niguel, California. But yeah, mainly here in Las Vegas.
All right, very cool. So, in being raised in Las Vegas, a lot of people wonder, Las Vegas can be a tough town to grow up in. I know you went through a lot of phases there. I've admitted even on my channel that I had some challenges with my children, and yet all three of you, I have two beautiful daughters also. You've all what I say turned out to be amazing adults. What are some of the things that you feel that's helped you the way you were raised? I know you had, I hope you feel you had two good parents. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Like, we weren't perfect, but what are some of the influences from your parents, your father, that have helped shape your life?
Yeah, absolutely. No, both of my parents, including yourself, were great. Lots of love, never ending amount of long suffering and love and patience for us as children. And you're always there for me, and mom is too. So yeah, Las Vegas can be kind of a hectic place to grow up in as a child. I wouldn't recommend it necessarily, but I think some important things to have is just that foundation of love and kind of finding yourself and outlets to you know express yourself, and also tools to help you navigate through emotions and things like that, especially when you're younger. It's really important that you're given as many tools as you can, and luckily with our situation I was given plenty, so it was good.
Yeah, I know you had a very conservative Christian raising in your early years, and you did learn a lot of fundamentals about gratitude and being a good person, and how to treat others, and how to be honest, and you've maintained all those qualities. So as a parent, I'm really proud of that. I'm proud of you. Now, one thing with my kids is I never told them what to do for a living. I never told them what hobbies they should have. You created your own. I will say that I take some of the blame or credit, I guess, for some of the stuff you do. I mean, when you kids were young, I played heavy rock and roll all the time in the car. I played everything from Led Zeppelin to Queen to you name it. You guys grew up with that, and you certainly have a love for music as you do for art. And you actually are a lead singer for several bands, particularly one that is pretty famous in your genre, which is Condemned. But tell us a little bit what led into your amazing career as a rock singer and some of your travels and adventures.
Well, that's quite a mouthful, but I'll attempt to take a stab at it. I definitely remember the first time you ever played me Bad to the Bone. I had to have been maybe 1 year old or 2 years old or something. And then you showed me Metallica and Led Zeppelin and all of that stuff, and that always resonated with me a lot. And we kind of grew up extreme back then religiously, so this kind of made me an extreme person in that the kind of music and genre that I gravitate towards nowadays is just as extreme, but kind of in the other direction. So yeah. The other part of the question.
Yeah,
A little bit.
no worries. So now you're with a group called Condemned. Along with them and your other bands, what are some of the cities and places? I think you actually went over to Europe too, but tell us about some of the places you've toured around the country and elsewhere.
Absolutely. So first started touring a lot. It was actually with my other band, Pulse, from here in Las Vegas, and we would go from New York over to Chicago, maybe a week long, or from Texas up to Chicago. It usually centered around a festival in Chicago called Chicago Domination Fest. I had played there maybe 6 years in a row, something like that, maybe a year off or two because of COVID. But we went to Europe, and I was actually opening with my band, Pulse, and the headlining band was Condemned. So has been a band that I had personally loved ever since they started, ever since I was about 15 years old, and had been checking them out. So it was really an honor to be able to join a tour with them. And actually, because they had seen what I was capable of doing when it came around time for them to find a new singer, and they were interested in that, I was lucky enough that they reached out to me. So that was really like a dream come true. And our album comes out November 17th next month. And so far, all the reception has been pretty great for the two singles we've dropped. So we're just really excited. And I'm really stoked to have the opportunity to show people what I can do with Condemned and to keep that band going. So far, so good.
Now, your brand of music is not for everybody. It's what I call extreme. And tell us a little bit about your music and the genre.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is brutal death metal, which is going to be a lot for most people. But the most similar comparison I could make it is horror movies. If you're somebody who enjoys the thrill of a horror movie, this is going to be the same kind of expression or experience a lot of the time with its art and its lyricism. in its vibe, but it's just in a different format, and I find that a lot of the people that I've met in this community, some of the nicest, caring people ever. They have this outlet. They're able to use that to kind of get rid of all the negativity they have to deal with from day to day in their life by just this form of expression in music. And although it's from the outside, it might seem really dark and alarming, it's actually much better because in life, there's a lot of intense situations and traumatic experiences people can go through. And finding something that's equally as intense uh, without looking to something negative, something just like music where you can be creative, because most of these people are also in bands of their own or also help add to the genre. It really helps you kind of purge a lot of those emotions. So you come out of there and it's just therapy for them, and that's the same way it is for me. It's just very therapeutic to be able to express yourself in an intense way when you feel like you need to kind of get things off of you, and then you're cool as a cucumber after that. And it shows a great range of patience, love, and respect that a community that are in this type of stuff can show for each other, because it's all pretty tongue in cheek. There's nobody doing the things that are said in these songs or nothing like that. It's just a big love for horror and extreme music and, just heavy brutality.
Yeah, and you've actually told me about the fact that most of the guys are very low key, away from the music. They're low key and chill. So again, that's very cool. I've met a lot of the young men that you hang out with, and they're actually very, very low key, nice guys. A lot of them have lovely girlfriends and wives and are family people also. And that's one of the things I'm proud about. You've got a beautiful family now, don't you? You're married. What now? Is it about a year and a half, 2 years married? And you have a stepdaughter. Tell us about that. You have a lovely family.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be 2 years in January, end of January. And my lovely stepdaughter is about to be 11 years old in April. And it's just crazy how life can be. My wife, Lauren, and I had met when I was about 16 years old. And, we were best friends for about 10 years prior to dating. And then once we started dating, we got engaged pretty quickly. And it was just kind of long history together. And it's worked out great. If you can marry your best friend, then I highly recommend it.
Well, that's awesome. And that's what you did. I'm really proud of you. And as I tell my viewers in some other videos about being a father, I'm really proud of my children because they all turned out amazing. And, as I said in the other video, I always imagined my kids. One of the things that Neville Goddard teaches is that you can imagine for others. And I always imagined you being, as you are now, calm, peaceful, loving, a great partner for your girlfriend, now wife. Honest, hardworking, good guy, and you've turned out that way. Speaking of your rock and roll life, again, you and I went to shows together. The last one's been a little bit of a while, but I'm wearing the T-shirt today. Iron Maiden. We saw Iron Maiden together. And we also saw Danzig and Doyle of the Misfits. That was radical. And then we saw some more well-known bands from the 70s. Of course, I'm a 70s, 80s guy. So we saw Journey together, REO Speedwagon, Styx, and what else? I mean, we saw several shows together. And so, and I've been to several of your shows. And again, not particularly my kind of music, but that's okay. I'm sure, every generation has the older ones who say, oh, man, I don't know how those kids listen to that stuff, but you actually sing it, and to hear the way you use your voice is amazing. So, why don't you do this? Can you briefly show us your amazing, tell us about your T-shirt collection, maybe walk around the room. He's got a room there, a studio that he's in right now, where he's got an amazing collection of posters and T-shirts and caps and hats. Show us that, maybe give us the quick 4-minute tour, and love to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a moment here. All right. So yeah, we've got some stuff here.
Tell us about how many shirts and hats and all that that you have, and how much that collection is probably worth today, if you have a guess.
Probably 1,500 long sleeves, you know, a couple thousand
CD,
t-shirts.
see, yeah, those CDs, all DVDs and movies also. Mostly those are DVDs, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a couple of framed pictures here from some magazines that I was a part of, talking about my collection, going over my music and some of the bands I'm in. Some more over here.
Yeah,
So, you
sweaters,
know,
not just t-shirts, sweaters.
sweaters, t-shirts, long sleeves. These are beanies here. That's completely
Slow down a
full
little
of
bit, slow down
hats.
a little bit. Yeah, those are beautiful. Wow. And you're organized. That's one thing I'll say about you is you're a very neat, organized person. I'm proud of that also.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to stay organized when you have this much stuff, or else you won't find anything.
I mean, you folded all those t-shirts to exactly the same square so you could stack them exactly. I mean, that's crazy. So if you could put a value on your collection, do you have any guess what all that what your that entire room, if you sold it off at top price, what would it be?
You know, the reason that's hard to answer is because with such a niche genre like this, it kind of depends on what people are willing to pay and who knows of it. You know, there's some bands that I collect that a relatively small amount of people may even be aware of, but because some of the stuff is so hard to find, they'd be willing to pay a lot for it. So I would say anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 maybe. That's just kind of lowballing. But again, sometimes it's hard to find a buyer if they haven't heard of the band or they're not aware of it. But yeah, so it just kind of varies.
So value in art is in the eye of the beholder. So
Hmm.
absolutely amazing. So Clayton, as related to my channel, you've manifested a great life for yourself. What are some of the things that have happened in your life and that you have now that you actually can give a lot of credit to yourself, having faith in yourself and imagining it true in your life?
Absolutely. Well, you kind of hit on it right there with the question already. You know, when you don't have faith in yourself, it's good to have a support system that has faith in you. And being your son, you've always shown a ton of faith and support in me and my music and my endeavors, and always pushing me to be the best I can be. You know, when I was young, you used to always have the motto. You would drop me off at school or anywhere I'd go, where you'd say, "We want only to be the best." And I remember lots of exercises you would provide me where you would hold your arm out and say to pull it down or push it down. You would ask me to try to, and I wouldn't be able to do it. And then you would tell me, okay, now push it down. And I would do it. And you would show me that there is no try, there is only do. And, you know, to give your 100%, no matter what you're doing, no matter if you're, you know, washing dishes or, you know, you're a custodian or you know, whatever it is. So a lot of your teachings really helped shape and inspire me to go for it and to just be myself. I think that when it comes down to it is like the most important thing, you know, because there's only one of you out there. Life's short. You gotta just go for it and reach for your dreams and never let go.
Well, you've really answered the last question I was going to ask you, which is advice you would give to I know you're 33, but I still consider you young people. Okay. All right.
Uh-huh.
Give me a break here. So people say between age 18 or so and, 35 years old, they can look at that and they can say, you know what? I've got bills to pay. I'm still looking for the right lady. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I don't know what I'm going to do for a career. So your advice basically to them is just whatever you have a passion for, because that's what I taught you kids. And I love that you remember things that I drilled into you kids when you were little. That was actually based on there was a car salesman advertisement, and the guy would always say, "We want only to be the best. And I got you
And now I
guys
know
so
the truth
you
all
guys
these years
so
later.
yeah, you guys so memorized that I could just say to you guys, we want only, and you, my other kids, Alicia, Natasha, my daughters, would just simply answer to be the best. So, and you're right about that word try. Try is the weakest word in the English vocabulary. There is no try. If I tell you, let's go to the gym, what time? Well, I'll try to meet you at 6 a.m. I'm not going to be there at 6 a.m. If I say, I will be there at 6 a.m., will you? And you say, yes, I'll be there at 6 a.m. Guess what? Both of us are going to be there at 6 a.m. This try stuff is the weakest thing you can do. So, gosh, Clayton, I'm proud of you. This has been an amazing interview. I know there's lots more to talk about, but give me a little glimpse of your future. What are some of your plans? I know you have other shows coming up. We're going to be sure and put those links. Be sure and get that to me. I'm going to let them know where your concerts are going to be. And also any other plans with you and your family. I know you have a new home. You just bought a very expensive home together with your wife. You have a swimming pool. You have an awesome home. You're raising a lovely daughter. There might be some babies in your future, I hope. I got to get one boy, okay? I got to get one boy that's got the last name Meade, all right? But what are some of your plans coming up real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as far as the band goes, once we release the album, we'll definitely be playing a show in in California, either San Diego or Los Angeles, to promote it. And hopefully next year we can go visit Asia, just like you are now. Hopefully I can go to Indonesia and play there, maybe Taiwan, Thailand. Otherwise, Europe will probably be where we end up. So just very excited for next year regarding the band. And then my lovely wife, Lauren, definitely need to, mention what a great supporter she is of all of my music. Without her support, I wouldn't have been able to do a lot of this stuff. She just helps me so much. And it really helps when you're trying to manifest, having somebody who not only understands what that means, but is also a generator for manifestation as well. All of our life together so far has been equally because of her and I manifesting things together, and understanding that process and what it looks like, and being there and available for each other if one falls down to pick the other up. It doesn't work out when one person is constantly the one falling down. You both have to be prepared to help each other. So, it's been a very fruitful relationship, and I love her so much. And yeah, I mean, we got this new house. We graduated from an apartment to a condo and now a house. So everything's looking great, and I'm just excited for the future.
Well, this was awesome, being able to interview my own son. So rock and roll, son. I'm proud of you. Keep up the good work. I'm glad you're living your best life, not the life that I wanted for you, as far as your chosen music and your lifestyle or whatever. That's all. You lead a very loving, kind, balanced life. I'm proud of you and your family. You know what? And I encourage other young people to do your own thing, as long as it's good for for others, and as far as treating other people well, expressing yourself in an honest way, and being a good person, you can't go wrong. But it's all freedom of choice, and I'm glad you've chose your lifestyle because you're happy in it. I love you, and I'll be talking to you right after this video, probably. So, love you, son.
Love you too. Thank you.
We'll see you. Take off your glasses and look straight in that camera. I want them to see your handsome face. Look to your left in the camera. There you are. Here's my handsome son, younger version of me. All right, son. Talk to you again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.